Hey guys, welcome to Trail and Kale. I'm Helen and today I'm reviewing the Altra Torin 7 road running shoes. That's these guys right here. In this review, I'm going to be going over the key features of these Altra road running shoes, the fit, what I like about them, what I think can be improved, whether I think they're worth the $150 price tag, and also some alternative road running shoes to consider if you're looking at this review and after hearing what I have to say, maybe you're looking for something slightly different. Stay tuned, all that is to come. If you're not familiar with Trail and Kale, we're a website and YouTube channel that helps you run your best, whether that's through our running shoe reviews, just like this one, running gear reviews, free training plans or running advice. Go and check out trailandkale.com to learn more. So what are the Altra Torin 7 shoes for? Okay, so I've already said they're road running shoes. These are highly cushioned road running shoes for getting in your easy miles. So what does that look like then? Let's take a look at the key features of these running shoes. So the first thing you notice is that being Altra running shoes, these are zero drop. So there's no differential between the height on the heel stack and the height on the toe stack. They're designed so that you can land with a mid to forefoot strike as opposed to heel strike in a more kind of natural running style like you might or probably would if you were running barefoot. The difference between these and running barefoot, of course, is that you've got a lot of protection, and these are highly cushioned road running shoes, so they're designed for you to be able to run miles and miles in with plenty of cushioning, as you can see in the midsole here with Altra's Ego Max foam. Taking a look at the upper then, we have this engineered mesh, which is new in this version of the Torin compared to previous versions. It's got, if you look a bit closer, you can see some holes here. It's got some holes for breathability. I wouldn't say they're the most breathable running shoes. I'm running here in California on a fairly warm spring day. My feet are kind of warm, but not uncomfortably so. Laces are pretty straightforward. I'd say these fit very similar to the Altra Timp 5 that I reviewed recently as well, in that you put your foot in and the shoe immediately hugs your foot. So the laces are almost for show. They just provide extra security for your foot. And then similar to the Timp 5, again, there's a really nice tongue with some padding that comes up high so it doesn't stop short or slide down. So really like the tongue here. Take a quick look at the padding around the side. You can see there's plenty of padding here as well as on the heel counter, which is this bit around here, really nice and soft and cushioned. So no issues there in terms of kind of rubbing. You can see I've got pretty low socks on and they fit really nicely with these sort of no-show running socks. Quick look at the tread. Plenty of traction on here for running in the wet and dry. I also want to point out Altra's toe box here. Altra are known for having a wider than average toe box. They have 3 different widths of toe box in their shoes. The original, which is the widest, standard and slim. The Torin 7 is standard, so wider than average, although I wouldn't say this is a particularly wide toe box. So this is not a shoe for people with wide feet. However, there is an option where if you have wider feet, there is a wider foot option, but you have to do a little bit of digging around on Altra's website to find it, so I'll explain that to you in a little bit. But yeah, as you can see, my big toes just here, my little toes touching here. I don't have particularly wide feet, so my toes are spreading out nicely, but there isn't tons of extra room in there. In terms of weight, these shoes weigh 8 ounces each for my size, which is a woman's US 7.5. Lastly, on key features then, these are neutral support shoes, so no extra support or what Altra calls their guide rail system for stability. If you're looking for that, I'll put a link in the description to a different pair of Altra shoes that you can check out that has a bit more support with stability for those who tend to pronate. If you're enjoying this review, give it a like, subscribe to our channel for more running shoe reviews just like this one. Things I like about the Altra Torin 7. Let's start with the upper. As I already mentioned when I was talking about the key features, I really like this soft mesh upper. It kind of feels like fabric rather than anything plasticky. It's really soft. It's soft on the inside as well. So if you're looking for comfort in the upper for a shoe that you're going to wear for long runs, because these shoes are designed to be highly cushioned so you can get easy miles in, and that might mean you're running a really long way, including training for races such as a half marathon or a full marathon, for example, then these are shoes that you can do it in. Sticking around on the upper, big fan of everything that's going on around here, around the ankle. So nice squishy tongue that comes up high like I talked about earlier. Secure laces that I don't even have to do up very tight because the shoe itself is a really good fit around my foot. It really hugs your foot when you slip into it. And then you've got plenty of padding and cushioning all around the back, around the heel like we talked about earlier. So really like everything that Altra's doing in here. Again, very similar to the Timp 5 that I reviewed recently. that you can find on our YouTube channel if you're interested in looking at that. That is a new trail running shoe from Altra. Next feature I really like about the Tim 5 is simply the amount of cushioning you've got in this shoe. So it's zero drop, like I talked about before. You're going to be landing on your mid to forefoot here, but you've got plenty of cushioning. These are not minimal, like, barefoot running shoes. These are super cushion shoes that you can go the distance in. So you've got that comfortable upper I've talked about, you've got the cushion midsole. And then the third thing I really like about these Altra shoes is the outsole. So there's nothing fancy going on with the outsole on these shoes, but it's got really good texture, which gives good traction in the wet and the dry. I've been through a few wet patches. There aren't that many now here in California. Things are starting to dry up, although I think we've got some rain coming tomorrow. You don't have the blue kind of more sticky traction everywhere, but you've got it in the areas where they expect you to be spending more time on the ground. So obviously it's kind of, you're going to be landing on your mid to forefoot, so there's a lot here, and there's also some here in the heel section as well, just for extra grip if you catch yourself off balance, is what I would assume that's there for. So yeah, really nice. Really like the design here on the outsole. Okay, so let's talk about the things that could be improved on the Torin 7 and things that I'd like to see change potentially in the next version of the Torin. I think Altra could really help themselves out by being a bit clearer with their marketing, kind of who these running shoes are for. Who I would say these running shoes are for are anyone who wants to have a highly cushioned shoe for running on roads. You could also wear it for walking as well, of course, and who wants to be able to land on their mid to forefoot, so kind of more naturally than a shoe with a higher heel stack that's going to encourage you to land kind of more on your mid to rear of your foot. These shoes are not specifically designed for people with particularly wide feet. So yes, there is a wider toe box there, but that is very much designed to encourage a natural toe splay when you're landing on your mid to forefoot. It's not designed to accommodate people with wider feet specifically. If you do have wider feet though, there is a wider version of these shoes. But the wide version is only available in the colour that I have, which is this blue shade. So if you visit Altra's website using the link in the description below, you need to select the blue colour to see the wide option show up on their website. Otherwise, it'll just give you the option for a regular width. So top tip there, if you've got wider feet, you're going to have to stick with the blue version, but that's not a bad thing. I really like the colour of these shoes, but you will get that wider toe box that you probably need if you've got wider feet. Other options for people with wide feet is to also check out the Altra Via Olympus 2, which is a more cushioned road running shoe with a wider toe box, using Altra's original toe box shape, which is wider than the standard toe box shape on the Torin 7 that I'm reviewing here. The only other feature I want to call out as an area of potential improvement is the breathability of the upper. So it is fairly breathable, like I talked about before, but it's not the coolest if you're going to wear these shoes running in particularly hot weather. Like I said earlier in this review, my feet are kind of fairly warm in these shoes, partly because the fit's snug, and I really like that. But if it's going to be a snug fit, you also need a bit more breathability to allow air to circulate and sweat to evaporate out of your shoes so they're not staying in your feet, keeping them kind of warm and sticky. But for running in most climates, including kind of pretty warm days, these shoes are just fine. The breathability is just fine. It's just on those extra hot days you might want to reach for another pair that's got a bit more breathability. There's maybe some bigger holes, more wider woven mesh. So to wrap this review up then, Altra Torin 7 costs $150. Is it worth the money? $150 is a pretty competitive price for a pair of road running shoes. There aren't many shoes out there that are zero drop, cost that much, and have all the level of cushioning which would enable you to run zero drop for long distances. So whether that's picking up a few easy miles just on a normal training run, or really working hard on a training plan where you're building up your weekly mileage in preparation for a race such as a half or full marathon, you can do it in these shoes. So if that sounds like you and you don't want kind of the typical kind of bigger 10mm drop, kind of more plush, easy mile cruising road running shoe that you see from other brands, this is a real differentiator for the Altra Torin 7 and something I think you're going to like. As I mentioned earlier, if you want a wider toe box, I'll drop a link below to other Altra running shoes that have got a wider toe box that might suit you better if you've got wide feet. And don't forget to check out our channel for other running shoe reviews just like this one, including loads of Altra shoes as well as all the other major running shoe brands for road and trail running. If you enjoyed this Altra Torin 7 review, please give it a like, subscribe to our channel for more running shoe reviews just like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.